All right, Shalom. When I say call, halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders at GMS that rule well. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting, doing his work with truth and sincerity. Back here again with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that are listening and watching these videos. Just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, going over some notes, and then just thinking how the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans still don't have a clue as to what's going on prophetically. They don't see that this place is being judged and that all hell is about to break loose. You know, the food shortages is coming. A famine of food, famine of the word, and not being able to hear, to hear sound doctrine in a time where you're going to need it the most. If this is the time to get it now, to be built up in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, your faith on a solid foundation, which the foundation is Yahweh Shai, whom the world so ignorantly calls so-called Jesus Christ. So I was just thinking about some things like, man, our people still trust in oppression. They still trust and believe in this system. So it's like Jake still have their heads of these devils' asses until it's going to be too late. And the Lord is sending warning to his people via his prophets, beginning with the apostles and the elders and the bishops and the great men before them, and now the men on down, instead of giving you this warning, man. But Jake and so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native America has an attitude like the so-called white man go work everything out. But some people starting to wake up to this devil like something that, this is wicked. But the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they hold on near and dear to this place, man, as if this man's going to be able to work it out. So their hope is in the so-called devil. Their hope is in this place, man. And they don't understand and see that the infrastructure of this place is going down, and they setting up the NWO, and they want to roll out the MOTB, which is already here in Revelations, the mark of the beast, man. Other groups that say the Israelites don't speak about this, don't warn their congregation about anything. They think it's an embargo, it's sin. But here it is. These people, the top elite families are moving forward with this agenda. And Jake don't even realize, when I say Jake, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and you Native Americans, man. So right here in Jeremiah 2:13, it says this: for my people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who've been scattered throughout the four corners of this planet. We've been scattered throughout the four corners of this planet because of the disobedience and the great offense that we caused before our power, man. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can't hold any water. Jeremiah 2:13. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the foundation of living waters, which is what? There's wisdom and knowledge and understanding. You forsake that, man. And the so-called, again, Israel are the Lord's people at the end of the day. Real quick over here. In Hosea 4:6. And my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, and will also forget thy children, man. You see, the Lord's going to reject you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American. Why? Because you've forsaken the living waters, the fountain of living waters, and you run to the wisdom of this world, man, which is a broken cistern. The cistern you need to be drinking out of is the Bible, because this is our book. This Bible belonged to the Israelites, again, who've been scattered throughout the four corners of this planet, man. But yet and still you want to run to the wisdom of this world, which is a broken cistern that's not even nurturing, giving you any nutrients, not even nurturing you in any kind of way spiritually. You see, you forsake the fountain of living waters, man. So since you did that, the Lord's going to work, reject you and your children, because you run to oppression. You're still seeking validation from this devil. And that was what in Jeremiah, real quick, Jeremiah 2:13. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. The wisdom of this world can't hold any water, man. You see? In the NLT, for my people have done two evil things. Have done two evil things. They have abandoned me, the fountain of living water, because this is what you need. This is what's going to sustain you. This is what's going to build you up. This is what's going to clean you up. This is what's going to open up your eyes on the spiritual level to see things that you don't see on the carnal level, because you can't see the prophecy is passing. But when you drink from this cistern, the fountain of living waters, then the spirit starts to what? John 6:63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the living waters, man, of Yahweh by Shema B'Shai. This wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the Holy Spirit, man. You see? And hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that cannot hold in the water. That's you, again, running to the wisdom of this world, which is a broken cistern, man. And this devil coming down having great wrath, he don't care about you, but you still want to uphold this. You still want to hold on to the wisdom of this world. You think this man going to come with a solution that's going to help you. It's not going to do that. The Lord has his eyes set on this devil. That's why he's going to disappoint. He's going to disappoint the wicked. That's why things is happening. The Lord, through Spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem and Habashah, on all levels, is crippling this place. And you Jakes don't see it. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Isaiah 30:8. Now go, I'm going in NLT. See, it says a warning for rebellious Judah and all you tribes at the end of the day, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Isaiah 30:8 in the NLT. I'm going to read on down. Now go and write these words. Now go and write down these words. Write them in the book. They will stand until the end of time as a witness. And that's what you're seeing happening right now today, man. You see, right here in verse 9, that these people are stubborn rebels who refuse to pay attention to the Lord's instructions. That's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You see? And you and Jake, just rebellious and sick in the mind, don't even understand what's going on, man. Because they still uphold folly, which this society upholds folly, and the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans always hold on to folly. That's why I say these people are stubborn rebels. You don't want to hear the instructions of the Lord. Well, since you believing in this system and the wisdom of this world, and you holding on to this devil like he's going to fix it and bring things back to normal, well, you're going to go out with this man, because the Lord is going to disappoint this man's plans. His plans are not going to fully go through. So why would you uphold something that the Lord's about to bring straight judgment upon, and you still want to hold on to the wisdom of this world and think this man is going to fix everything for you, man? You know, he's going to disappoint this man. And rightfully so, because of the witchcraft and the sorcery and the idolatry and the blasphemy that these devils been doing, man. Swearing in on the Bible. You see? Putting up images that look like them, but not the real images of the man of the scriptures. The Lord is so-called black man. Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, is a so-called black man. All the men. You see? And they hide this from you through something called iconoclasm, where they deface all the images and paint over the dark images and put so-called white images up. But our people are stubborn rebels who refuse to pay attention to the Lord's instructions. Verse 10, they tell the seers, stop seeing visions. That's what they say about the men of the Lord. We don't want to hear that. No, what's your opinion? No, we're giving you the only opinion that matters, which is Yahweh by Shema B'Shai, and the words coming out the Bible, which is Yahweh Shai, because he comes in the volume of the book. They tell the seers, stop seeing. Back then they called the prophets seers. Today they prophets, same thing, right? They tell the seers, stop seeing visions. They tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things, tell us lies. Because people don't want to face reality. They don't want to wake up to the reality of the scriptures, man. So they'd rather for you to speak smooth things to them and tell them lies and stop telling them what's about to take place, because in their eyes, they haven't finished doing their wickedness, meaning they still got plans to try to get all their money up and fly to Jamaica and have generational wealth and do this and do that. This system and this way of life is up, man. This about to be over with. And if you spiritual, you will see and you will feel the energy of this place, man. People are being depleted, man. But the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, boy, they still want to uphold this place, man, in any kind of way possible because they haven't completed their goals. They want to go back to school. They want to get their first home. They want to save up savings for their children versus coming back to this cistern to get the fountains of living waters, man, because the Lord is about to disappoint this man and this whole infrastructure. That's what the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans don't see. Forget all this gloom. Get off your narrow path. Stop telling us about your Holy One of Israel. Jake don't want to hear it. Jake, because they believe in the wisdom of this world, which has blinded the minds of the people. They believe in so-called Jesus Christ, JC. They're still on Christianity. They're still in these churches, but ain't learning nothing and haven't learned anything the whole time they've been going. So they spiritually blind and not understanding what's taking place, man. This devil don't care about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You see? Verse 12, this is the reply of the Holy One of Israel, because you despise what I tell you and trust instead in oppression and lies, calamity will come upon you suddenly like a bulging wall that bursts and falls. In an instant, it will collapse and come crashing down because you believe in this system, you believe in the ways of America, and you want to uphold the standard of this place, which is nothing but wickedness at the end of the day. You want to get your degrees versus coming back to your true nationality from, to your respectable tribe and get this pure wisdom. This is what you need right here, man. You see? But the Lord said, okay, your calamity will come upon you suddenly since you want to trust in oppression. But meanwhile, Yahweh Bashim have their eyes set on, again, disrupting the infrastructure that these devils, the elite banking families want to bring in, the wicked. He's going to disrupt that, man. It's going to get to a certain point to punish you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and he's going to deliver the 144,000, 1/3 of some men, women, and children out of this, man, which going to scare us to make it. That's why it's best for us to hold on to the Lord and turn from this place and don't get comfortable in this place because the Lord finna destruct this place. He finna break the hammer of the earth, man. That's in the book of Jeremiah, man. You see? So I'm going to get down. Okay, verse 14. I'm going to get it in the KJV. And he shall break it as the breaking of a potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare. Meaning this so-called white man don't care about you at all, man. He don't, you see? So that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shred to take fire from the hearth, or to take water with all out of the pit, man. So the Lord will have this to take place and the wall will come crashing down. It's going to smash you like a piece of pottery shattered so completely that there won't be a piece big enough to carry coals from a fireplace or a little water from the well. This devil finna come down having great wrath, man. You see, they don't care. And these devils is holding back. You know how they say the famine is coming, how it's written? There's a lot of food. It was like 2-3 years ago where this man said a shortage of food is coming, but they have this food stored in the warehouse. This man is wicked, man. You see? This man is wicked. It's all outdoors. So the Lord's going to break the yoke off of his people, man, spiritually. And Jake didn't realize that we in captivity all over the world. The Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are sick, man. But then you want to turn to other nations, but turn to the Lord. Because these other nations and in Esau, they don't care about you all at all, man. These devils hide and hoarding resources. Look, in the book Satan's Angels Exposed, written in the 80s, the elder brother was saying in Connecticut, which they thought back then that they would, have this NWO to happen back then. But on page 224 talks about the Trilateral Commission. Energy crisis is a hoax, man. They have resources that can last over 2,000 years, man. They got like natural gas that can last over 200 years. Go back and check this out. Petroleum can last up to 130 years. Oil, I think from Shell or some Oil 1,500 years. Coal up to 6,000 years. Now you have seven major firms, right? Seven major firms that control them, but six are of the what? Trilateral Commission, man, which are what? Controlled by the bankers. So they have all these resources, but yet they hoard them, and they go cause the famine through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Mashai to punish the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This man is the Lord's whipping stick. That's what you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans don't understand. Yet you want to trust in oppression when this man don't care about you. And the Lord is doing us a favor by breaking off the spiritual yoke off of us, man. So we can turn back to him, because the Lord knows Israelites are sick mentally and spiritually, man. We are sick people. And this devil gonna have these resources holding him back, but yet and still, he got so many resources that it can last for a while, but he's not going to do right by that, man. That's what Edom Esau is not going to do. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy mind, in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. But see, the wisdom of this world has perverted the minds of the people, especially the Israelites. You see? So this is talking about Edom, the top banking families. They're plotting, man. They want to see, but then they say, who seeth me? But they don't understand that wisdom has perverted them, and Jake following them, the wisdom of this world have perverted them too. You see, you got the MOTB. They don't even see it. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans don't see it, but this devil has come along with this thing, man. Now look, they have the infrastructure to bring in the MOTB, the mark of the beast, man. They have the infrastructure for it now. You're just waiting on a major event to happen or something go take place to where now they're going to go offline, and when they come back online, in order to get your money or to be able to get the resources, you got to have this MOTB, man. You see? They got the infrastructure for it now. When they came with the wireless tolls, I remember paying a toll, like you could drive by the toll, slow down a little bit, and throw some coins in the toll. Now they took that away. They took payphones away. I haven't seen a payphone in so long. I don't think they exist anymore. Now they got the GPS on the cell phones, right? And again, the wireless tolls. All this is a trial run, you see, and how they want to go about to track things. They had I think a law back in 2006 was banned about the analog phones in that time, because they want to do away with the old system and come with their so-called system. But the Lord's going to disappoint them, man. And rightfully so. You see, this man is wicked. He caused the so-called black man, or all the men of our nation, you know what I'm saying, to be put out their homes, but they want to give the women the benefits, single parents. This man is wicked. He don't care about us, man. So you holding on and still want to find your place in this life or be accepted, you in the wrong spirit, man. You're going to go out with this devil. You see, the end is upon us right now, man. And then by you thinking everything gonna be all right, the Lord go disappoint this wicked, the devil go disappoint this man to the point you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans go get caught up with them as well. And rightfully so, because you drinking from a broken cistern, you're not following after the fountains of living water, man. Which is, again, this wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Because right here, real quick, and Jeremiah 50 and 23, how is the hammer of a whole earth cut asunder and broken? Because the Lord has his eyes, Yahweh B'Shema B'Shai, Yahweh will send his son Yahweh B'Shai, only begotten son Yahweh B'Shai, and the holy angels to come back and make war with this man. But they know this. Why do you think they got a space station and some kind of fourth branch of the military out in space or something like that? The sixth branch, Star Wars. That was all set up because they know, the top families know that Yahweh Shai is coming back, man, with the angels. That's why they out there. But then they want to go up there to their space station to escape things here on the planet Earth. And that's fine. They go get away with it. But when it all said and done, they gonna be the first one put in slaves. Be brought into slavery, man. So the hammer is talking about is going around crushing and causing all the havoc on the planet Earth. This is the top elite banking families, man. And the world gonna know that the whole time this man was just the man that causing all this havoc. But right here it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? The Lord going to disappoint this man. And all the wickedness and everything now has come, the Epstein files and so on and so forth. The yearbook was kind of like a menu. You know how you go to school, take a pictures and you in the yearbook. Now you look at it on the spiritual level, that was a menu for these men to go and go. This place is wicked, man. And the Lord has to come back and break the hammer of the whole earth, causing havoc, taking people resources and so on and so forth, man. The hammer will be broken in pieces. Esau is the hammer. Again, they run the whole earth, man. USA, aka known as Babylon. You see? And the Lord opened up his armory and go bring forth his missiles against this devil. And go deliver the elect of his people, again, 144,000, 1/3 of some men, women, and children. So how's the whole hammer, Jeremiah 50 and 23, how is the whole hammer, how is the whole hammer of the earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon, aka USA, America, become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken. The Lord has set a trap for this man, because he's thinking this whole time his infrastructure, his plan is going to go on forever and ever, rise out the ashes like the phoenix, looking as they sadly mistaken. The Lord have laid a snare for this man, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. You wasn't aware. You see, that's why Esau is scared, because when Revelation 11 talks about how they stood upon their feet. You see, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord hath opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, power of Israel, Yahweh B'Shem Abishai, in the land of the Chaldeans, man. All this witchcraft and these sorcerers and so on and so forth on the left-hand side that they have. So the Lord has opened up his armory to bring forth the missiles. That's why we going into the Third World War, because it's all about prophecy at the end of the day. You see? This man went against the Lord. He took the Bible. You swear you swear in on it. You put the Bible to the side, and you come out with your own penal code, your own way of doing things, which you do everything contrary to the scriptures. And the Lord hadn't forgot that. So that's why the Lord said he laid a snare for thee, man, and you will be taken. You wasn't even aware. But the Lord is making it aware now, because he sent his men out before you to tell you these things before it takes place. Everything that's happening, starting with the apostles and the bishops and the elders and the men on down, has been saying it before you was going to start doing all these things. Now it's taking place. It's prophetic. It's biblical. That's why Jake don't want to hear the visions of the prophets. I don't want to know about the Holy One of Israel. Well, guess what? The Lord will take this man. The whole hammer is being cut out the planet Earth, and you still ride with him. You will be cut out with him. You will be cut out with him as well, man. Throw hand, join the hand, man. You see, the Lord going to visit you. So, Lord willing, I hope this was edifying. Until the next time, I shall say, Shalom.